Jamie here with Coastal. Welcome to today's webinar. We are creating with Crio. We have our special guests here, Meredith, and we also have Tim and Doug that are going to introduce themselves. Go ahead, Tim.
I'm Tim, Coastal Business Supplies. Excited about today's webinar. I've been in the industry for, goodness, going on 20 years. And yeah, I love everything t-shirts, even though I'm using t-shirts as my blinds today.
Perfect.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Doug DeWitt with Coastal Business Supplies. I have about 29 years in the industry. Spent the past 14 years as product manager for another Crio distributor. Happy to be aboard the Coastal team now and looking forward to this webinar, answering any questions that you might have regarding the Crio Powderless DTF.
Thank you. So as you can see, there's a lot of experience on this webinar, so we're excited to create with the Crio. Also today we have our Crio creator, Meredith, in the house. Do you want to give a little introduction to yourself?
Sure. I'm Meredith, obviously. I have been in the industry for over 20 years, which is weird since I'm only 25. I actually used to work for Coastal and then went out, retired to be home with my grandchildren. And at that point, I decided to take a more active role with the Crio. So I've been doing a lot of spirit wear and just a lot of apparel with the Crio the last few years.
You've done some amazing work, and she has provided us with some awesome wood products that we're going to talk about a little bit later in our webinar and do a little pressing for you. We're going to do live demos on our Forever Laser dark paper, which is a 2-step paper for darks. And we're going to do hard surfaces for you, so you kind of can see a little bit of the process from start to finish. But we're also going to talk about what is Crio, kind of what it provides, what we offer. So let's get into that.
Well, as far as Crio, to me, Crio is the perfect home-based business solution. What I love about the Crio is not only the variety of products that you can make with the Crio, depending on which transfer paper that you run through the system, but the fact that everything you can operate in a safe environment. The great thing about the Crio is we have material safety data sheets on all the products that feed through it. It's a safe system, unlike some of the other competitive systems out there where you might be dealing with like an adhesive powder. As far as something like that is concerned, it might be a good industrial application. It's not the type of application that you want to operate out of your own home. So I think if you are a home-based business, you really need to pay attention to today, see what the Crio can deliver, and understand that it is the safest system that you can operate for a home-based business.
And to piggyback off of that, I like that it is, I always refer to it as a maintenance-free system. And it's good for tackling those small runs, 25 to 50 shirts. Typically aren't very profitable for most decorators. So this fills a niche that is a very high margin because your typical screen printer is not going to tackle a 25-piece order. This allows you entry into a niche that where you can be charging $20 to $25 per shirt because you're doing 12 shirts. No one else will do that, or at least those that don't have a Crio, they won't touch that job. So it's really that high margin job, low numbers, that really the Crio is kind of the sweet spot.
Like they said. So getting into the creator side of it, Meredith's here. How long have you had your Crio, would you say?
I've had it, I would say, probably at least 5 years.
Yeah. And how many jobs do you normally get off of it? Like how many jobs do you kind of put out with your Crio and using all the other, applications and media that is included with it?
I am averaging about 50 to 100 shirts a week.
Yeah, which is awesome. So, again, those smaller runs, I know not too big. You could do a little bit more. I mean, depends also what media you're working with and, the time capacity. Kind of take us through your journey or kind of how you got started with the Crio and why it's so beneficial for your business.
Well, actually, I had the benefit of working here. So I worked with a lot of different machines, and I have a lot of different machines. I do primarily use the Crio machine just because it's more practical. I can do any color shirts, any type of fabric, sweatshirts, those types of things. A lot of the stuff that I do is going to have probably the same front on it, but we personalize a lot. So doing it with screen printing or anything else would really be hard for me to do because people want their names on the back or their kids' names on the back. So I find using the Crio has been more beneficial than any other process for me.
Perfect. Yes. I do like that it's, unique in that sense that you can just do those one-offs if you have to do the one-offs, like the, personalization. So any tips or tricks that you can share with us when using your Crio, or any special paper you use, or just kind of anything to help our users out?
Well, I do use mostly the Forever Laser Dark. That is my favorite paper. I found my sweet spot with it. I can generally marry 2 sheets at a time. I just up the time and the heat a little bit, but it is a process to learn your press and make sure it's working well. In the beginning, I would really recommend getting, maybe some 8.5 by 11 sheets, just so you can start practicing the process without making that larger investment in it. But I find that it works really well for me. So I generally print off, all of them at one time, and then I start marrying 2 at a time just to double up my production time. And then once they're all married, then I'll go ahead and I'll start doing the shirts. And then once those have all cooled off, then I will remove the transfer, and then I will double press it. And I do use the T-cell sheet because it gives it more of an embedded feel to it, almost silk screen.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, kind of pushes that toner in and more durability, which is perfect, for our industry.
And in the 5 years that I've done it, I've not received any complaints. So, it's holding up very well. After 5 years of washing it, you might start to notice some wear, but that's kind of true with any process. I do include washing directions, no fabric softener, low heat, and, with those types of things out there, I've had really good luck with it where I've not received a lot back.
Good.
And a lot of repeat business. I do schools, I do the spirit wear, and they keep coming back. So it's a great product.
Awesome. Thank you. What challenge? So you mentioned you have, a lot of equipment in your shop. So obviously that serves a purpose, but why does the Crio stand out, and how has the Crio kind of helped you overcome, some challenges that you have with your current equipment?
Well, with sublimation, it's great, but you are limited to light colors and polyester, and not everybody likes the feel of polyester. Now, they have come a long way with polyester, but people generally prefer cotton. Cotton t-shirts are less expensive than polyester. They have a better feel, and you can go with any color, and people like colored shirts. The white is always going to be a staple, but especially with schools, they generally have 2 or 3 school colors, and they're usually bold, greens, navies, and they want to see their mascots or their designs on darker colors. And the Crio has really, stepped above. Also, I've had a lot of hey, I need a shirt in 3 days. Well, if I had to, order out or whatever, that's going to be a little difficult. With this, I can just go, okay. And then I run it and it's ready to go, usually same day.
Good. But that you aren't missing those jobs either,
Right.
Because that's obviously essential when you're kind of building your business. If you have a business, if you want to add this onto your business, you're not missing those jobs and having the opportunity to use it.
It's essentially, I know that it's advertised as a business in a box, but it really is. And I know that you guys mentioned that it's safe. I do keep my grandchildren during the day, and their playroom is off of my office. So when they're, content playing, I can go in my office, I can see them, but I can continue printing and pressing and doing all the things. And I know that they're in their safe environment and I can still work.
Right. Anything to add on to that, Tim or Doug, or any questions that you have for Meredith?
Well, one question that I did have for Meredith, I know that most people who get into this type of business, you might find a few that are like classically trained graphic artists, but many of us aren't. I will confess, I am not a graphic artist. So I wanted to ask you, do you create your own artwork, or do you find sources for artwork to knock out jobs faster, so to speak?
I do both. So if it's just a quick, hey, I want this, or they send me like a design that they want, I will search to see if I can find a pre-made design just to save myself on time. Most of the spirit wear I do, they give me what they want, and then I'll come up with several different scenarios for them to choose from. But I think I incorporate both. But I mean, if you don't have the, you know, the mind to do the graphic stuff, pulling pre-made designs off of Etsy or whatever, I mean, they still come out perfect as long as they have a high DPI. They're coming off great.
Good to know.
There's a lot of resources also in the industry, clip art and templates and things like that. I believe we do have some clip art on our website where you can search a variety of different seasonal or sports or whatever it may be, and source that kind of artwork as well. I've found that that's been very helpful in my experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there.
I have a question. So Meredith, you're saying you're pretty busy with the schools and teams and things like that. You know, with this being a business in a box, a lot of the time people don't know how to get new clients, don't know how to, you know, what are some steps maybe that you've used to secure some business for your Crio?
Don't be afraid to talk about yourself. A lot of it is going to be word of mouth. You've done, you know, something for so-and-so, and then it gets back to this person and to that person. But I mean, social media is always going to be a really good option to get your name out there. But, you know, if you go to a new place or whatever, wear some of your graphic tees or whatever, and people are like, oh, great, that's awesome. Where did you get that? Oh, well, I did it. I mean, word of mouth is going to be huge, and don't be afraid to brag about yourself. Tell them, you know, yeah, I designed that. I can do this. I can do that. And it's going to get out there. Also, it helps to, I mean, your child has a teacher, make them a gift. And then it gets into the schools and, you know, and kind of piggyback off of that and just keep pushing yourself. Contact PTOs, PTAs, also club sports. A lot of club sports don't go with the bigger companies. So contact some club sports and see if you can get in there, make some samples and get them out there.
I like that. This is the perfect setup to be able to make samples. Make one shirt. Your competitors, guys, if you're getting into this business, they're not doing that. They can't do that. The cost for them to do a sample, you know, they'd have to, I'll be almost certain that they're going to secure the client. Whereas we can print one shirt with the Crio, you know, have the idea, print it, we're done with it within an hour after having the idea and dropping it off at that school or at that, you know, at the coach or athletic director, whoever it may be. You know, I found in my experience, you know, making those one-off samples have secured most, you know, most jobs that I'm trying to get on my own without word of mouth.
Right. And you want to personalize the experience. You want to make them, you want to try to develop a relationship with these people because, I mean, a lot of it is relationship because can I make a shirt better than Jamie? No. But do I have a relationship with this person? So of course they're going to come to me because they, you know, they feel that pull or that tug. So definitely work on the relationships and, you know, just make it personal, make it about you and make it about that person and, or that team and, you know, go from there.
I think you guys hit on a great point about the ability to use the Crio to create sample items. And one thing that I wanted to drive home is that you can do a variety of different sample items with the Crio. One of the best ways to profitability when you're starting a business is being able to take that established artwork and create as many different products as you can, you know, selling it to your clients as a package deal. So beautiful thing about Crio is you could do more than just make a sample shirt. You can make a sample mug. You can make a sample hard substrate. You can create a variety of different things with the Crio and put together a package, so to speak, you know, featuring their artwork on a variety of different items. It really drives the point home that you can go a variety of different routes and reach that profitability by taking that one piece of artwork and stretching it out over a multitude of products.
Definitely.
Good.
Also with samples, you can always, you know, if it's a smaller sample, like something like, you know, a car coaster, someone, you know, wants to see something small, you can gang your images up on one page, which is really nice. So you can, you know, you might not use that, or if you have, you know, other designs, you can put that on one page. That way you can always come back to the design because these transfers last as long as they're in a controlled environment for a year plus. So always keep that in mind too, to make sure you kind of use that full sheet space when designing your images and printing. So let's get into the Crio a little bit more, and then we'll get into more of the demoing part. So what are the options for the Crio system? And, you know, we have a heat press here. So what, you know, why is there a benefit of purchasing the whole like system?
Well, I'll cover, we have two different models of the Crio. We have the 8432 and the 9541. Kind of differences there. One's a smaller unit. We're both showing the 8432, max print up to 11 by 17. It is a CMY white system, so it uses processed black, combines your colors to create your black. Great machine. And then you have the 9541, which is going to give us a 5-color system. So it's CMYK plus white. So you're going to get a true black. You'll have the ability to print larger, up to 13 by 19, and just have a larger print area. And to go back, Meredith, you had talked about when you were doing the marrying process with your press. I've had a Hotronics, I've had a cheap press from Amazon, I've had a bunch of different presses. And to be honest, I struggled with the marrying process on more of my cheaper presses. But man, I got the Crio One press before I did the DTF Expo out here. And oh my gosh, I'm just amazed. Like one time, like I have yet, fingers crossed, we're in a live demo. So hopefully this doesn't happen in the live demo, but I've yet to mess up a Mary on this one press. So really just has a great even heating element. It's applying the right amount of pressure and just it's dialed in, and it is perfect for this process. So those are kind of the three options. We do sell, in some circumstances we'll sell the printer by itself, but it's really more important that we sell you, a business in a box. We sell you it comes with the RIP software. It comes with a variety of papers that you need. It comes with a T-seal sheet. It comes with all of the things that you would have to buy anyway. And I always tell my prospective clients that we give you enough in paper and supplies and things like that, that if you were to go out there, turn around, do your training, and then start selling product with all of the supplies that you have, you should easily pay off your system, pay off what you invested in it. Being able to maximize the use of the papers and things that you're given in that system, in that package. If you're anxious to get that ROI and get that money back, you can do it right with your initial purchase.
Yeah, Tim, I think you're really hitting on the point about it being a complete system, not just from the necessary equipment and necessary consumables, but the support that you're going to need to get up and running. One of the things that Crio does offer is a 90-minute onboarding session. So you are going to get on board with a Crio technician and go over setting up your printer, setting up your RIP software, getting you to that very first print. Crio provides a remote support tablet that comes with the 8432s and 9541s. It's a direct link to Crio Tech support. Not to mention that when it comes to support, Crio offers lifetime support for their units, which is key because every now and then you are going to run into problems. I mean, that is just Murphy's Law. But know that you have got basically award-winning support that is backing you when you go with a Crio system. So it's not just sell you a business in the box and then forget about you. We want you to be successful. So, utilize the support, utilize the tools that come with joining the Crio family, so to speak, and that's what's going to get you up and running and make you successful.
And all three of these pieces of equipment carry a warranty. For the printers, it's an on-site warranty, so we'll send a technician out to help if needed. Oftentimes we end up swapping out the machine. Just kind of depends the situation, but we do have a great warranty for all the machines.
Thank you, guys. That's just what the Crio promise, I guess you could say, is printer to process support, across the board, fully through the whole entire process, which is what I would love it, as a customer. So we're going to start our demo, and we're going to talk
Jamie,
about.
sorry. Sorry, one thing we missed, and it's been extremely helpful. Like sometimes I have clients that reach out to me directly and don't get to support. And I cannot tell you how many times I've just gone to the My Crio website and grabbed a how-to video and emailed it off to the customer. So the resource of My Crio after you buy your machine, when you get everything registered and under your name and access to My Crio, I'm going to say 90, and I know percentages are made up on the spot, but I'm going to say 90% of what you need to know, how to marry an A and B sheet together, or my software just updated and now I need to, refresh my code, or there's so many detailed videos on that My Crio page. And not only that, they also provide weekly webinars for both their live trainings for both application support as well as how to use the RIP software. So just a phenomenal resource for somebody that's getting used to using this equipment.
It really is. Yes. I would definitely agree with you. They put a lot of resources out for the customers. So we're going to start with pressing. So Tim's going to press on his side, Forever Laser Dark, and then I'm going to press on my side, a wood substrate. So Tim, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah. So speaking of making a sample, football season just started. So we were at scrimmages last night, and so we have a team meeting. So my son is on the hero football team. So I printed that out for us today. So this is the A sheet. So this is what we would print our design onto. Okay. And then we have our B sheet, often referred to, when we refer to powderless DTF, this is what we mean. This is, if you're familiar with DTF, you have to do the powder, the shake and bake over your image. This is a sheeted adhesive. So this gets married to the back of our print. So that's when earlier when they were referring to marrying, I almost stepped in and wanted to explain what that is, because it's an odd term. It's unique to this process. So aside from marrying, I married my wife 21 years ago. But so to clear that up, this is the marrying process of an A and B sheet together. Now what you're going to want to do is bring it over to the press. I got my press set to 300 degrees. We're gonna hit it for a minute and a half. So you're gonna just make it so that your image is down on so it's gonna go on the platen like that, and then your glue sheet will go on top. And kind of line it up the best you can. Cover it with some of your little Teflon sheets. And you want to do that. They've made the A sheet just slightly bigger than the B sheet. So in order to avoid any glue or anything getting stuck to your press, you want to make sure those are covered while they're pressing. But marrying process, this is really where this is the most time-consuming part of the process. The printer prints super fast. I don't even get into, people ask how many can I print an hour and things like that. I don't even get into that. It's like a laser printer. I blink and it's done. It's really not a process that is time consuming on the printer. The time comes in on the press. So just be very, upfront about this. It's the pressing process is where the bottleneck can happen. So if I get to a point where I am, I'm swamped, maybe the process is maybe not moving as fast as I need it. Adding an additional press is really where I can slim down and I can get my throughput a little bit quicker, because this there's no way to cut down the amount of time it takes on the press. These are the key steps: time, temperature, pressure, all of that make or break your print. So real important that you follow those instructions to the T.
Yeah, and what Tim was saying, it's all about time, temperature, and pressure. And when you're first learning this process, so to speak, you might have instances where you do not get a successful application of the adhesive from the B sheet over the toner on the A sheet. Okay. At that point, get with our support department and we can walk you through the different scenarios to correct that. But the point is that you can learn to identify a bad attempt, so to speak, before you take that design and apply it to your garment. So, the point I like to bring up is that you might be out the transfer, but you're not out the transfer and the garment.
So very important, as I would have waited until Doug was done talking, but it's super important that you peel this right after you press. So it's a hot peel. My fingers right now are a little sensitive, but it's a hot peel. But all of my glue, you can't really see it. I wish I could hold it up. Maybe you can see that with the light, but you can see where my image was. All the glue got peeled off and is now on my transfer. So from there, I can take my shirt.
And as far as the shirt that you're using, Tim, is it a 100% cotton? Is it a cotton poly blend? Is it 100% poly?
It's all made 100% cotton. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to give it a quick press just to make sure all my wrinkles are out, make sure all the moisture's out. And then I'm going to apply my transfer. Now, before I do this, and I almost forgot. Ooh, good. My wife was thinking. I didn't think I was going to have scissors close by. Because there is that gap or overlap, you'll want to just trim around just the edge of your design so that you don't get any excess glue or anything transferred onto your garment. So just trim that. No, it's key. I mean, when people hear trim around your design, I'm not trimming up next to the design. I'm not trying to get in between anything. I'm solely just getting rid of the excess so that no glue transfers onto my garment.
Yeah, generally speaking, I discourage people from trimming right up next to the design because you want to leave a little bit of excess film. It is going to help you remove that film off the garment much easier if you've got at least like a good inch where you can kind of get your roll or peel started without, getting right up to the design. Sometimes if you trim right up to the design and you try to peel up, you might pop like a corner or small detail piece, where it sticks to the film and doesn't, stick down to the shirt. So yeah, do leave a little bit of excess around the design. It will definitely help you remove the film off the garment much easier.
Very good. I just did this at the same temperature because it's a cotton shirt and did it for 30 seconds. Now this is, sometimes I have to write myself a little reminder because the marrying process is a hot peel, but guess what? The peeling of the transfer is a cold peel. So I got to let this fully cool. And then I'll show you the technique of removing that.
Yeah, so if Tim,
sorry.
I was just going to say, if Tim were doing multiple shirts, he would just simply let that first one cool, move on to the next one, keep pressing. Some people, use some tricks, so to speak, to rapidly cool the film, such as laying it over a piece of metal because metal's a good conductor of heat, using a fan. At one time, I had a crazy client in Louisiana who bought an old fridge to cool his designs. And I'm like, well, what's the point of that? And he told me shirts go in, beers come out.
Well, I'm in Phoenix, just so everyone knows. So there's no cool right now. So I'm hoping that this will cool down all the way. We're about there. It's still a little bit warm. But like Doug said, if I was doing multiple shirts, I'd just stack them, do all the presses first, come back, peel them, and then T-seal them. Meredith, while that's cooling, do you want to talk again about the T-seal? I'll hold it up. But this is imperative. This process is key for white toner, powderless DTF. I have sold this to some DTF users that still use it for their DTF transfers as well. But it has great benefits. If you could touch on that while I'm getting this one peeled.
Well, you can use it for multiple presses, and what it does is it embeds it into the fibers of the fabric, so it makes it more of a permanent transfer. If you don't do that second press on it and they go to wash it, regardless as if they're using fabric softener or what, it will totally come off. So you want to make sure that you are definitely doing the second press with the T-seal. And like I said, you can get several presses out of a T-seal. I usually have two on hand, one that I do for light colored shirts and one that I do with dark colored shirts, just because some of the bleed from the T-shirts may come off on that T-seal. Doesn't make it unusable. Just, you know, stick with the darker shirts with those, and then, like I said, a separate one for your lighter shirts. But it's amazing. It was a total game changer. I used to just use parchment paper, and I was going through quite a bit of it, and when the T-seal came out, like I said, game changer.
Yeah, I think it lasts like 150 uses, or is it more than that?
500.
You know when it's time to replace it. It gets a little crispy.
Yeah, it like Meredith said, it can start to take on some of the colors of the shirts that you're pressing on and things like that. Although it doesn't transfer to the shirt, it's still, I like your idea of using one for lights, one for darks. You might be able to see, I don't know if you can, but this is a Forever Laser Dark. If you don't T-seal it, look how shiny that is. So that's also letting us, it's a visual. I need to T-seal this shirt if it's still shiny, because like you said before, the T-seal is pushing the pattern, the design into the fibers of the shirt. It's increasing wash durability. It's increasing longevity of the shirt, which are all key and important things that you need to. Your customers will like a shirt that lasts a lot longer, and so this is worth having.
It also takes that transfer feel out of it, so it doesn't feel like the old transfers used to feel, like, you know, the inkjet transfers where you could kind of feel the crunchiness. Once you T-seal it, it feels soft, and like I said, just like it's part of the shirt.
Yeah, some transfers have that papery type feel. That's real important. That T-seal knocks that out. I think that's one of the biggest questions that I hear is how do the transfers feel? Does it feel like paper? Does it feel like a transfer? I was like, sometimes I don't know how to answer that, but I mean, it feels like the best transfer I've ever made. We'll say that.
Well, you know, to kind of add on to that point, you know, anytime we're doing a dark garment decoration process, we're always going to have a raised feel because a direct-to-garment system, a direct-to-film system, this Crio system, we're decorating the surface of the shirt. So there will always be some type of feel to it. But when you use the Crio transfer paper and you use the T-seal, I would say the consistency of the garment will have about the same feel as if it came off of silk screen.
It is a really nice feel.
And you can start to see the fibers, the weave in the shirt. It just really creates a nice, it's a soft hand, but it does have a feel to it.
Yeah, the other piece of advice I would pass along to people is, you know, if you want to increase your image durability, make sure you go with a quality garment. There are some T-shirts out there that have a very low material ounce weight. Those are going to probably fall apart in your washer and dryer faster. And when that happens, naturally, the image is going to go with it. But if you use a good quality T-shirt, you're going to get great results.
So it wasn't a very difficult design. So I want to touch on Crio is a great step up for someone that's doing cut vinyl. No more weeding. So this design could have been done in vinyl, but I would have had to get my pick tool out and pick out each piece. So those that are maybe a borderline getting arthritis in their hands, you're welcome. The Crio can help you, take the step up from a vinyl cutter. But I wanted to show, I have some other designs that I've printed on the Crio. So I wanted to show that this is a full color, full color image printer. This is not limited to the colors that I said before. And what does this one say? Oh, you hang up. Oh, how cute. So just some of the designs. It is a full color printer, so you can get good quality prints, not just 1-2 color images.
Yeah, and the white that you're using, you can use white as a spot color, but white also acts as a background color. So when you're going up against a dark garment or a dark substrate, you get the true color standing out. It's not blending in with the background, so to speak. The other point I wanted to bring up with the Crio and the white toner, it is a powdered toner. It is not a dry liquid, or it's not a liquid ink. Anybody that's ever used white in a liquid ink system, whether it's direct to garment or direct to film, you know that you constantly have to keep that white ink in motion. Otherwise, it's going to congeal or it's going to clog. You do not have that situation with Crio. So the great thing about Crio system is you can turn it off if you do not have a job, days, weeks, even months at a time. But when you need it, you turn it on, you feed your paper through, and you're good to go.
Yes. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the live, just wanted to go right in, that we do have a Q&A section. So if you want to chat us with any questions, you can do that, and we will answer those throughout or at the very end. We're almost to the end, but figured I would put that out there. So on my side, I'm going to be pressing the wood that Meredith has done using her laser cutter. So I'm going to press it, and then Meredith is going to talk a little bit about the laser cutter, how kind of she does both, I guess, with the Crio and her laser cutter. And she did a little sign and then little letters for a custom sign, which is perfect. So even more like resale value when using your Crio and another piece of equipment. So I'm just going to tape on these.
And Jamie, as you're prepping that, can I ask which transfer paper are you using to decorate the wood?
So I use Forever Multi-Trans Pro by Forever. So one good thing about the Crio system as well is there is so many different medias. You have tattoos, which is basically like you're printing money because you don't have to have a substrate or anything else involved besides, printing the tattoo. Then you have water slide, which you can place onto candles and those odd shaped items. We've done eggs here to test with. That was fun. You obviously have your lights and your darks, your hard surfaces. There's a few different hard surface papers. Again, I'm using Forever Multi-Trans, which this can go on metal, ceramics, wood. I know I'm forgetting a lot of hard surfaces here, but it can go on just glass. A little bit of glass, a little bit of everything. Sandstone. Sandstone's so popular right now. And then you can use foils on top of it. So like if you are doing a shirt that Tim just did, you can put like a nice foil metallic finish on top of that transfer to give it like an extra look. We have a lot of customers do that with like their wedding invitations or just invitations in general. They kind of decorate it a little bit more, which is perfect. So definitely a versatile system. Okay, so I have taped my transfer on, mainly taped it just so it doesn't shift on me since they are smaller letters and whatnots. And this is 275 for temperature at 30 seconds, 45 seconds actually. So it's a very quick process. So this is just, you don't have the extra step of marrying. You just have the step of printing and then applying to your substrate and then pressing.
And if you have a laser, this is a great way to add some personalization to anything that you're doing. My particular laser, it just does cutting. So it doesn't actually add prints or colors or anything like that. So I can take, as Jamie just showed you, anything that I've cut, and then I can add patterns to it. My daughter's really into cow print. I can add the cow print to it without trying to figure out how to laser it on there. So this is definitely upped my game as far as my laser goes as well.
Yeah, I like how, so like here I have an earring that Meredith also has done for us. It's a little gnome earring. I like how you can incorporate, stuff like that, because I see earrings all the time at farmers markets that look just like this. Some are just the wood and some are, decorated. So it's interesting to see, what customers are doing and, what really sells and can be popular for your business, because maybe you can just make money on just this, your hard surfaces, and not even have to wear a t-shirt, depending on what you want to do. So this is a hot peel. So I'm going to, this one flipped. So remove the tape, and then you have personalized letters. I did a purple design. And I'll show you the transfer after.
There we go.
Very cool.
There we go.
Thank you, Meredith.
It's very pretty.
I got a funky eye though. Okay, so then you can see where the toner was taken. I'll bring that up too. You can see where the toner was taken. I'll put it back here. With the letter outlines. So obviously you don't have to, waste this much toner. You could have done a template that incorporated the letters. Kind of depends on what your preference is and what you're comfortable with. But so yeah, now you can glue these to the sign and have a personalized sign. Super cute. So adding different equipment is another piece that we wanted to talk about within this webinar. As a laser cutter, just the different tools that kind of help your business grow. Anything else you guys want to add in, or any other tools that are beneficial to the Crio?
I'd like if you could go and say what are all of the other, let's list some of the other substrates or some of the other items other than wood and apparel. But I know we talked about mugs and things like that. Like, what is the extent? Let's just go down and say what all of the materials we can use the Crio for.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of that, really fast, we went to a show last week, and there was a Mylar balloon, and those are super popular, and you can decorate those very easily. But you can blow them up with. Oh, you have one. Okay. I was like, I can really see. So yes, I mean, super popular, and just like a random thing that you wouldn't think of that you could press to. I just had to mention that. But mugs, yes, mugs and drinkware is huge. And if you don't have a sublimation system but still want to accomplish a transfer onto a mug, you can use a mug press to press on your design. So that's an extra tool, like extra accessory piece of equipment that we sell that you can use. Hats are super popular. You mentioned sports teams, both of you. Our hats at our school are just they sell like a ton. So I mean, getting a hat press, hat press is beneficial for your business as well. That's all I have. What else do you guys have for?
Well, you can also, this is a laser printer. So like a lot of times I'll print cardstock on here. So I can print invitations and that type of thing, thank you cards, because like I said, it is just a printer as well. So you can definitely utilize it for that and then add to things as you can print stickers on everything that I put out. I always print off washing instructions and a thank you for your business. And I just use this printer to do it. So it's like we said earlier, it's literally a business in a box. I mean, there are no limitations with this printer, really.
Very cool. Yeah, I think one of the videos on my Crio shows RJ doing a metal menu, pressing on the metal and things like that. So extremely versatile piece of equipment.
Yeah, I would probably have to say at the moment, my favorite product to produce is temporary tattoos. It's very unique that you can have a printer where you could take the output and actually decorate yourself with a Crio. So, temporary tattoos, not only can you use for, spirit events, schools, clubs, things of that nature. You could also use it to decorate, light acrylic. And what is really popular are doing fingernails with temporary tattoo paper. My wife is a big fan of the stick-on acrylic fingernails, and when I told her that, basically I can come up with our own design, so to speak, and make her nails, she went nuts over it. So, I would encourage anybody who is considering a Crio, look on Etsy, look on a lot of these other sources and see how much a sheet of temporary tattoo paper is selling for decorated. If that doesn't motivate you to look at a Crio, it would be hard to find something that would, because the markup that people are getting for decorated temporary tattoos is just absolutely incredible. So again, just another versatile thing that you can do.
Maybe next webinar, Doug, you could pull off the Mike Tyson temporary tattoo do the face tattoo to demonstrate all that we can do.
Oh, absolutely. I can pull that off 100%. You better believe it.
There you go. Can't wait to see that. It's happening. So we're gonna wrap up a little bit. Unless anyone else has anything to add, we'll go into the options, financing options. Again, if you have any questions, please put those in. I'm more than happy to answer those. Or Tim and Doug can be reached after this as well via a form that you're going to go to after this webinar is over, or contact information on the email that will be sent. So do you guys have anything else to add in terms of the Crio system and kind of what we've talked about today?
There are a lot of financing options. There are things that Doug and I can talk to you about. It's really to the point where, just reaching out to us. Our contact information will be provided in that email, like Jamie said, and reach out to us. We're taking this opportunity with, it's middle of the month. We're in a webinar. We have quite a few attendees, so I think Doug and I would be willing to do some wheeling and dealing. If you reach out here in the next little bit, we'll be providing some specials and some things that we cannot talk about on the air, or we get in trouble. So please reach out to Doug and I, and we can set you up with a business in a box that will really kick off a great experience for you. I know many people that have got into this industry and did it the wrong way. And I've seen so many people start in this industry with a Crio, doing it the right way, being profitable right out of the gate. And this is a perfect solution for that. So, I would say reach out to Doug or myself, and let's see if we can't help answer all your questions. I think between the two of us, what did you say? You have 30-something years experience. I'm not quite there. I got 20. So between the two of us, we got at least 50. So we can answer your questions and help you out and see what we can do.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage you to contact us. One, we want to get to know your business, because I understand not everybody, would be, let's say, like a natural fit for a Crio. We want to make sure that we get to understand your business needs, what you need a system to deliver, and we want to make sure that the Crio is going to be a good fit for you. Now, if it happens to turn out that that's not the case, the beautiful thing about working for a company like Coastal Business is we have a variety of different systems that might be a better fit for what your particular printing needs are, or something that you need for your business solution. So please give us an idea of what you are trying to accomplish, what your business model is, not necessarily for right now, but in the future, because, we want to build a sustained business relationship with you. This is not just about selling you equipment and then bailing. We definitely want to see you succeed. So don't hesitate to take our time. Let us know what you're doing, and let's figure out together if the Crio is going to be the best solution for you.
Well said. Well said. Well, as we wrap up, again, friendly reminder, after this, you are being redirected to a page with Crio. So if you need to learn more about Crio, want to learn more about Crio, there's videos within, there's guides, there's a profit calculator, so you can see kind of what you want to make, how much you'll profit. And then Tim and Doug's information is at the bottom, where you can fill out a form, and then they will contact you back. And again, you'll also be receiving an email. So if you have any questions, you can respond back to that and contact them. And I also want to say thank you to our guest Meredith for being here and talking about her experience with Crio and kind of what it has done for her business and kind of helps her out, and then talk about the other stuff. So thank you again for that.
Thank you. And I do have one piece of advice. Just remember, when you're starting a business, you are not in this by yourself. A couple things: don't accept an order for 50 shirts right out of the gate. Take advantage of the resources that Coastal and Crio offer. Make sure that you know what you're doing. There is a learning curve, and try not to get frustrated, because you will get it. I mean, it took me a little bit, but now it's like second nature. So make sure you do take advantage of all the resources. They're offering them, and it's just going to make your business better.
Thank you for that.
Great insight.
Anything else to add, Tim or Doug?
Oh, this was fun. Let's do it again.
I agree. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, Meredith, thank you so much for coming on board, doing this webinar with us. It's always appreciative to have someone who's out there in the trenches, so to speak, using the equipment, giving such great advice to the people who attended. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's kind of fun coming back.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, all of you guys, for attending. I know you have a lot of options when it comes to the webinars you attend, so we appreciate you taking the time to watch ours.
Yes. Thank you. We will see you all again next time.
Ciao.
Bye.